Good afternoon, everyone. Gareth Presch, founder of the World Health Innovation Summit. Delighted to welcome you to our live stream here today. We're launching our partnership with Ride for Freedom. Delighted to welcome Gordon Miller, who from Ride for Freedom. And Gordon, perhaps just a short introduction to those who are watching. Also, anyone has any questions while we're live, please do pop them in the chat. Gordon, over to you.
Thank you, Gareth. Appreciate it. Really lovely to be here today, and I'm really excited for our partnership. Gordon Miller, team leader and founder at Ride for Freedom. First established back in 2019, and then became a fully established kick in 2021. It's all about harnessing cycling to raise awareness, to advocate, to educate, collaborate to end modern slavery, and then to provide remedy to survivors through our Freewheel program.
Okay. Just on the Freewheel program, tell us a little bit more about that and what you're doing.
Sure. Well, it came out of a little project when I was advocating back in 2020, when I was riding around, lots of cycling miles, putting in. You get lots of time to think about ideas about how to take things forward, and what came to me was great doing all this raising awareness, but how was that actually directly helping survivors of modern day slavery? So we came up with the idea of starting a program which we subsequently called Freewheel, where we help cyclists, help survivors to cycle by giving them free bicycles, free accessories like locks, lights, helmets, all the things that they need to be safe and secure on the road, and also giving them training to the bikeability standard. And we started that as a little project back in 2021 during COVID, when we did a pilot study in partnership with Unseen, one of the other major charities in the sector. And we wanted to prove that cycling does support one's mental health, one's physical health, one's independence, and also one's mobility. And so those are the four things that we wanted to prove through the hypothesis of the impact study. And it demonstrated all of those things, and in particular, it demonstrated that it does support one's mental health. So that gave us the catalyst to then start the program. And subsequently, we've got our Freewheel program up and running in East London and also in the West Midlands as well. And we've had in something like 70 odd survivors sign on to the program. About half of that have completed the program, literally cycled off on their bicycles at the end of the sessions. So it's incredibly empowering and really transformative to their lives to help them with their rehabilitation.
Fantastic. And I think just for everyone, one of the reasons why we're partnering, and we really want to harness, the transformative power of sport, particularly to foster peaceful and inclusive societies around the world. Gordon's programs are actually pioneering in this space. So I think we all recognize the vital role that sport plays in our lives. And what we need to do is bridge the gap between the medical professionals and healthcare world. And that's what World Health Innovation Summit is about, is bringing new ways of doing business in this space. Gordon, can you just tell us a little bit more about your ambition? I mean, this is what's beauty here, is being able to, you've learned your lessons, you've prototyped it, you've trialed it. Now the idea is to share it, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's to grow. Our ambition is limitless. It's global. Our ambition. As I say, we've got it up and running in two areas of the UK at the moment. The ambition is to get it up and running in all over the UK. Sadly, there's a real need, because there are more than 10,000 survivors of modern day slavery who are supported by various other charities and safe houses, and we've had indications from them that these people would love to join your program. And get the free bicycle at the end of it. So we can roll this out. What we require is funding to be able to do that, but that's within the UK. And now we've our mission is, I'll say, global. We've literally got our footprint in the USA now. We've got established as a 501c3 in California. And I went over there last year, did a bike ride to seed the idea of doing some collaborations over there. And hopefully this year we're going to get up the Freewheel program up and running in California. We've also got a footprint in Nigeria, where there's raising awareness particularly around the issue of modern day slavery and human trafficking in football, in soccer, which is a real issue. And again, we're raising awareness of that campaign through the lens of cycling, raising awareness of the issues. So we want to take this as a global mission. It's that powerful, as you say, and transformative to people's lives. So we think there's huge potential, and it's even outside of modern slavery victims. That's not our ambition. Our ambition is those individuals. But there's no reason why cycling can't be harnessed, and all kinds of sports to be harnessed for good and for impact.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with you. Maybe just you touched on the soccer element there, and you talked about modern slavery. I mean, could we
Mm,
just just take a minute or two, just tell us a little bit about that? Because when I met
mm,
you in London a couple of weeks ago, and we sat down, we had a coffee, and I think you told me about this situation. I was actually shocked. I'm not sure if any of
mm,
the viewers here have actually heard of this, where people are trafficked, made false
mm,
promises. But maybe you could share that insight, Gordon, because I think
yeah.
really important for people to understand the why behind the ride for freedom and how
Mm.
important it is in the work that you're doing.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you for that, Gareth. It's a really interesting area that we focused in on. When we have a campaign, which is our Show a Red Card campaign, which I hope everyone can see there. The other side of the card, the yellow card, is where we actually have this acronym where it gives an indication of signs for people to be they may have been victims of modern day slavery. A lot of it is hidden in plain sight. You can see literally past someone on the street and you don't recognize that they're potentially a victim, but some of these are some of the indicators of it. But back to the red card. So the campaign is all about raising awareness of human trafficking in football. Back in 2020, the US government department's trafficking in persons report documented that there are 15,000 youths under the age of 18 who are trafficked from West Africa into Europe in the name of football. So they're told it's called false promises, as you said. It's about them being promised trials with football clubs that don't exist. It's a way of luring them over here, duping them, and ultimately human trafficking them. Once they come into Europe, they are told, that these trials don't exist. They're just then exploited. They're forced into criminal activity, all kinds of heinous crimes. To make because this is human trafficking and most forms of modern day slavery. It's all about money for the criminal gangs that are exploiting people, whether that's women who are sexually exploited, whether it's men and women who are men as well, of course, sexually exploited, but also labor exploitation, things like debt bondage. Lots of people will know about domestic servitude. For example, Mo Farah was trafficked from, I can't remember the original country that he came from, but he was trafficked into the UK. And then he was forced into domestic servitude to work for a family in West London. And that was, that's an incidence of modern day slavery under this umbrella term, which all of these different kinds of forms take. So yeah, we really want to raise awareness of this within football, and way we do that is by advocating. I've personally cycled around all the Premier League football clubs in 2021. I cycled around all the German Bundesliga clubs in 2022. I cycled along a bunch of clubs in California last year, clubs in Spain. So, we're really passionate about this issue and trying to negate it. And we've got a country representative in Nigeria who has who went to the AFCON Cup of Nations in January and showed a red card out there. So to raise awareness in the source countries as well as in the countries where the exploitation takes place. And I've engaged with many of the football clubs: Liverpool, Leicester, Wolves, West Brom, Birmingham. You name it. Lots and lots of these clubs kind of understand what we're doing, and our understanding is if they get behind this red card campaign in a really visceral way and actually demonstrate this, then the criminal gangs will be pushed away from seeing this as an opportunity to exploit people. So that's what the red card campaign is all about.
Well, thanks a million. Like, I mean, it gives you real context in terms of the kind of work that you're doing. This has massive impacts as well on people's health and well-being. I think people shouldn't be any under, the cost of this as well is enormous. Like, because it knocks on not only into our health system, into our prison system, into our public health system, or into our public services. So, hats off to Gordon. I'm very excited that we're partnering together. Just to remind everyone that what we're trying to do here, we want to harness the transformative power of sport to foster peaceful and inclusive societies around the world. So really important work that we're doing. What I'll do is we'll wrap up our sort of short webinar here. It's just a short announcement with myself and Gordon just to announce this partnership. Gordon, just some final words from you. Where can people get information about Ride for Freedom and the programs?
Yeah, thanks, Gareth. We're at rideforfreedom.org is where you can find us, and the email address on there, info@rideforfreedom.org. And as you say, I mean, this is all about supporting survivors' mental and physical health. Last year, we had the people who came through the program, 76% of them did say that they had a physical and mental health improvement through coming through the Freewheel program and cycling on a bicycle. So, that's a significant figure. It's not as if it's just, half a dozen people feel that they're getting some benefit. 76%, that's 3/4 of the people who come on the program really get a good sense of it and helps them take it into other parts of their lives. One of the quotes that I really love about when I asked somebody last year how they felt about the program. She said, "I feel much more confident now than I did before I started the program." And she said, "This is going to help my confidence to take it into other areas of my life." And that was like, wow, that. I couldn't have written something better than that. That is the absolute gold within this program, that it helps people transform their lives outside of cycling and into every other areas of their life. So that's what it's all about.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, we have a quote that I always look at when we were running our WHIS Kids programs here, and it's from a young boy who said, "I have learned that I could control my emotions. WHIS Kids has helped me to see that." When you get the feedback, that's what makes it all worthwhile in terms of the effort. So look, for everyone who's tuning in here, this is just the start of quite a large initiative between Ride for Freedom and the World Health Innovation Summit. We have other partners as well, which we've announced. We're going to make quite a significant announcement over the next couple of weeks. Got some big ideas coming up, so stay tuned. For everyone who's joined in, thanks for your support, and thanks for continuously supporting us. While we go on this mission and journey to give people the tools to manage your own health and well-being, and our vision is to give people health for all. So that's basically what we're trying to do. So thanks for joining us, and we'll sign off, myself and Gordon. But we're very excited to be working together and looking forward to harnessing sport, and that's our aim. Thanks very much, everyone. Thanks.
Got it.